Viski Clear Ice Maker. This is a machine that shortcuts lots of really complex problem-solving techniques to make you solid, dense, crystal clear cubes. It uses just regular faucet water, nothing special at all. We're going to run that through a funnel and fill up the reservoir first underneath the ice mold, and then fill up the ice molds until they overflow just slightly. As you fill the mold, I'm going to switch back and forth from one side to the other, and that just makes sure that all of the reservoir is full underneath the actual molds, and then the molds are all the way full, and it allows a little flexibility because water is going to expand as it freezes, and when it does so, it needs a little extra room. So you want to have plenty of stuff full so that water comes out the top and doesn't fracture your actual ice cube. Make sure everything's full, there's no gas bubbles, and then we're going to move that right to the freezer. So when you express them out of the mold, they're going to be slightly fragile, they're going to be a little bit cloudy and cold, and we can actually see the process as it cures or as the ice becomes slightly warmer and a lot more sturdy. That's going to keep it from splintering or fracturing, and that's also the reason that we're going to use a square ice cube mold as opposed to a round one. You want to enjoy your old-fashioned cocktail. If you spend as much time making it with as much care as we do, you want to enjoy that on your own timeline. And the slower your ice cube melts, the less melt water you get, the longer you can enjoy your cocktail at the perfect temperature and the perfect dilution over a long period of time. I worked a long time on my recipe for bitters, and I think it's pretty ideal. But what we're encouraging people to do here is find your own perfect home. You know, blend bitters and try and experiment and do all of this stuff. That's the valuable stuff here. Learning to value your own palate, learning to experiment in ways that are helpful for you, and then comparing that to the stuff you get from the pros out there. The most expensive cocktail ingredient we're going to add last. That way, if somehow we mess up the cocktail, if we get something wrong, if we break it, if something terrible happens or we forget about it, we're not actually destroying any of our favorite ingredients. We're just messing stuff up that's easy to replace and okay. There are other reasons for that. Specifically, we start with the caramel syrup because it's going to take the longest to actually dissolve the water, and it's going to take the longest to blend everything together. After that, we're going to add the bitters because they're going to dissipate through the combination in both very pretty ways but also very predictable ways. And then we're going to add the whiskey last because it's the most expensive ingredient, and it allows us to change anything that we see on the fly as we create that. If you have made so many old-fashioned cocktails, you know exactly the shade of color you want your bitters to be. If you see that in the preparation vessel, you can just throw that out before you waste any whiskey. So this is mostly functional stuff from running very fancy bar programs, but it also helps you save money and drink very well at home. The blend of crystal and glass that makes up a great Uri cocktail pitcher is absolutely ideal. It absorbs heat and ice and then lets that go very rapidly and with very little hiccups. When you're equalizing your cocktail and stirring it, it looks great in that vessel. The actual texture on the outside is very, very pretty to look at. The other thing it does is make sure that you can prepare everything in one single versatile vessel that can be used anywhere behind the bar. As we showed already, we had near boiling water in it right before or after we stirred an ice cold cocktail in it. The equalization of the temperature is very fast, it's very efficient. Once your cocktail is created, once it's perfect with the balance of bitters and the whiskey that you love, when you move that to the vessel where you're going to consume it from, you want it to stay as close to perfect as possible for as long as possible. So we don't want extra melt water. We're going to actually make the cocktail and the vessel the same temperature. That way it stays exactly the same as you served it. What my process does is we're going to flame an orange. We're going to take a bit of a peel of an orange and we're going to toast the oil out of that, and then we're going to pinch that orange peel and it's going to express toasty, smoky, delicious orange oil that we're going to rub around the edge of the glass. And then we're going to take really excellent cherry, either something made by hand or something like Luxardo, and that's going to be the garnish. The orange peel with the expressed toasty oil goes in, and a nice spear with a wonderful little cherry goes in. Very simple, very elegant. Pretty much everything that we need or you would need to build your own perfect old fashioned is available here. And at great liquor stores you can find pretty much anywhere. The best of them should order you special an ingredient if you want, which we will do every time. But everything we use here to make the cocktail that we prepared is available at this store, with the exception of the baker's sugar. We actually do consultation for some of our favorite charities and for special events all throughout Kansas City. I'm available here at Ranch Mart Wine & Spirits Tuesday through Saturday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I love helping people and answering questions. There is a dedicated tasting space to the things that we sell, because we try everything before we put it on our shelves to sell to everyone else as well. So helping people find, their perfect cocktail, their perfect combination of cocktail and home experimentation is something I actually really enjoy. So pretty much any day you can find me here and I'll help you make an incredible cocktail.